Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, you know, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great.
Just not cannabis. Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
I discovered that it didn't make any difference whether you smoked reefer in the white classmate's sparkling new van, or in the dorm room with some brother you'd met down at the gym, or on the beach with a couple of Hawaiian kids who had dropped out of school and now spent most of their time looking for an excuse to brawl.
See? Marijuana brings people together. Crosses all boundaries. Welcome to Toker Talk Radio. I'm Radical Russ. That's Brian the Red. We're hanging out.
We're glad you could admit that, Mr. President.
Yes, that's very beautiful. It was so nice of him to call in today, too.
Oh, that was, yeah, it's an unprecedented step forward for our movement.
Yeah, kind of weird how his the background changes a lot when he's talking. It's like there must be a weird connection on the White House. Maybe it's the NSA listening in.
Yeah, he could just be, walking around on a cell phone. Different rooms sound different in the White House.
Yeah. Hey, we've got news. There was there's all sorts of April foolery going around. Apparently there was some post about
what?
Marijuana Control Legalization Revenue Act.
Is it April Fool's Day?
Yeah, on Facebook, getting some sort of a post about it getting its last minute donor, and it was going to be on the ballot. And now people are saying it was a Facebook, like a April Fool's joke. So
Fox News is going to have plenty of shit to cover tonight.
And we've got that Alabama and Kentucky right now both have passed the CBD only bills. Mm-hmm. They're just waiting for their governor to sign them, so it's just a matter of which one becomes number 22 and which becomes number 23 in medical marijuana states, or which one becomes number 2 and 3 in CBD only states. It depends on how you want to look at it.
And these ones are slightly different than most of the initiative based. Because it's through the House, isn't it?
Yeah, it's through the legislature.
Yeah, they didn't see America. They didn't wait for an election year. They didn't wait for any kind of election. They just went through and said, "Get the shit done."
Well, it was all these parents bringing their sick kids into these state houses and just moving these legislators to tears and getting damn near unanimous votes for these CBD bills in both houses. I mean, rarely have I seen an issue so controversial get introduced and greased rails passed through state houses like I've seen these CBD only bills. Now, we know they're largely unworkable. They're pretty much symbolic. Yeah. This is going to be interesting now because I got a lot of folks that are like, this isn't real medical marijuana. This is a step backwards, and that decry these things. And I understand their points, but I think what's going to happen is you got a whole bunch of parents with a whole bunch of media attention now who are. When I was reading the reports, it was like they were crying. One of the reports saying how they're crying when the governor is signing the bill, and they're tearful. They have so much joy that they're going to get their kids some help, and when it doesn't happen,
when they're going to get the CBD only, if they even get through the process of being able to bring in oil from somewhere, then that CBD only isn't going to help many of them. So. Like I say, it's just a step forward. Take it. It's a baby step, and then run with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a big if too.
Got to push your foot through the door. This is the foot in the door. with CBD only. But don't stop there. Use it as a springboard. You've got to keep running and get the full legalization or full medicalization that you're looking for, that will help the broad range of patients that, you know, are the most vulnerable.
Yeah, this is, you know, and that's a big if. Even if they got the CBD, which they're not going to. Or what's going to happen here? These bills that are being signed depend on the research hospitals. The one in Kentucky is for the 2 state research hospitals. The one in Alabama is similar. The Utah one is similar. Require them to be a part of an FDA study on a cannabidiol oil. Now, that would have to come from the University of Mississippi Pot Farm. That would have to get approval from NIDA. That would have to get approval from DEA. That would have to get approval from FDA. Now, FDA is ready to go forward on some trials of GW Pharmaceuticals Epidiolex, which is something that would qualify under these other states' laws. But again, it's going to be a while before it gets that far. And in that intervening time, these parents are going to be screaming about, why aren't we protected? Why aren't we getting this oil? What's going on with this? And that's going to be that's going to prompt more people to get into this debate about whole plant medical marijuana, and why are we, you know, futzing around with this just CBD stuff, and these kids could really use some help. The blowback on this could be the most beneficial thing for this movement.
Now, the Epidiolex, is that a CBD only?
Yeah, it's basically GW's response to, oh my God, all these kids are getting help from CBD oil. We better make something before they
except they've been working on it for, you know, 3 or 4 years.
And, well, there've been reports on CBD oil going back to Jaden James down there in California, going back to Miko Hester Perez. I mean, that they go back to 2007, 2006. So there's been plenty of kind of foresight for these pharmaceutical company to know that CBD oil was going to be a big deal, and get that CBD oil through FDA trials, get it perfected, get those parents using it, get it covered by the insurance, and now you take all those sad sob stories out of the legislature the next time we have to talk about medical marijuana. That's the Box Canyon, folks.
It's simply business. It's simply business. It's simply business, you know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
It's simply business. It's simply business. It's simply business, you know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business. It's simply business, you know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business.
Cannabis Outreach Collective is an alternative health and wellness option located in Gladstone, Oregon, that serves patients in the Portland area and beyond. We are a full-service alternative health and wellness collective accommodating patients with natural, organic, holistic, and homeopathic remedies, nutritional guidance, advice, education, and medical cannabis, fully in accordance with Oregon OMMP law. You can find out more about Cannabis Outreach Collective on Facebook at COC503 or by emailing cannabisoutreachcollective503@gmail.com or by telephone at 503-853-1319. Check out our menu on Weed Maps and visit Cannabis Outreach Collective today. 420 Radio, the home of marijuana experts. When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you don't just want any attorney. You want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Lauren Vasquez knows the details of California marijuana law from both a personal and professional angle. Lauren Vasquez rose from the ranks of college normal activist to become one of the Bay Area's best marijuana lawyers. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your Fired Up Lawyer, or email fireduplawyer@gmail.com. The number again is 855-MMJ-LAWS, 855-665-5297 for your Fired Up Lawyer, Lauren Vasquez. Lauren Vasquez is an activist attorney you can trust. Call today.
Welcome back, everybody. It's 11 after the hour here. You're listening to Toker Talk Radio on 420radio.org. So glad to have you here. All sorts of cool stuff happening in the 420 radio universe, including coming up in just a couple weeks, 420 itself. In Colorado at the High Times Cannabis Cup, which will be 4 times as big as the previous one, I understand.
420 2014, so it's like forward and backward.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And it's going to be huge. We will be there to bring you all sorts of coverage. And I will also be presenting at this one. I'll be doing my legalization presentation. Should be fun.
Indeed.
All right, so
what else we got?
If you were listening earlier today, you know that I did this April Fool's joke on High Times today. And it's kind of got me concerned now because I turned it in last night. And it was published today, and it originally had an April 1st post date on it. But now it's been backdated to Monday, March 31st. And maybe that's to move it down in the hierarchy of what's on the top of the page or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of hard to make an April Fool's joke on March 31st. It's weird.
And now the other news organizations may just pick up on it as a real story, which might be fun.
That might be fun. All right, so here's, I'll just read it to you because I'm that guy. So, headline is, President Obama denies crack smoking claim, says it was dabs. Washington, D.C. The political world was rocked today by allegations revealed in the Washington Inquirer that President Barack Obama was seen, quote, smoking crack, end quote, by a young girl on a White House tour. Quote, we were on the White House tour, explained second grader April Fool's joke from PS 420 in the Bronx. When we went by the president's office, the Oval Office, the lady, tour guide, said we couldn't visit the president because he was busy, end quote. But the little girl said the door to the office was slightly ajar. While the tour guide was distracted, young April peeked in the door. That's when she says she saw the president, who quickly ran forward to shut the door when he was seen. Quote, I saw President Obama smoking crack. He had a blowtorch and a big pipe thing, and smoke was coming out of it, end quote, April told the Inquirer. When asked how she would know what crack smoking looked like, April's mother explained that her estranged father was a crack addict, and unfortunately, April had been exposed to his drug use. Reacting quickly to the unfolding scandal, which some have likened to the revelations of Toronto Mayor Rob Ford's crack-smoking video, White House Deputy Press Secretary Josh Earnest told reporters in the West Wing there was no truth to the allegations of little April Fool's joke. Quote, this little girl has clearly mistaken something she has seen, end quote. Earnest began when, to everyone's surprise, President Obama stepped out from the wings and motioned Earnest aside to deliver his bombshell remarks. Quote, look, there has been some, speculation as to what this little girl has seen, the president began, but we're not going to stand here and scapegoat a child over what she believes she's seen. Obama glared slightly at Earnest and continued. The simple fact is that I was smoking dabs, which is just a popular term for smoking the concentrated oil from cannabis. Obama motioned the shocked reporters to hold their questions and continued, quote, I think since the legalization of marijuana in Washington and Colorado that we all need to be honest about our cannabis use. The fact is I've been using cannabis off and on all my life, since the days of the Chum Gang, end quote. Obama went over the history of his marijuana use, how he once smoked joints and used cocaine, how he gave it up as he pursued political office, and how he has re-embraced his love of cannabis since becoming president. Quote, People do not understand how stressful this job is, Obama offered, and how much cannabis has helped me deal with those pressures. Without my daily dab, we'd probably be at war in Syria now. Of course, there's a time and place for everything. Maybe I shouldn't have had that dab before the second debate with Mitt Romney. End quote. Obama also apologized for the way his use came to light. Quote, I deeply regret that it took some young girl peeking through my office door for us to have this conversation. But sometimes it is through the innocent eyes of children that we come to realize the greatest truths. I assure you all, these cannabis concentrates are safe when used responsibly. They are simply cannabis itself, stripped of its plant material. End quote. The president then closed by acknowledging the hypocrisy of continuing to maintain marijuana prohibition despite his own use of marijuana. Quote, look, I've wanted to decriminalize marijuana since my days running for Senate, but I've had to learn the hard way that doing the right thing isn't always the way Washington works. I had to twist arms just to get a modest health care reform done in a country that overwhelmingly supports Medicare for all. I just can't wave a magic wand and legalize marijuana overnight. End quote. Now that we have a president who has admitted to not just smoking marijuana, but smoking concentrates while in office, it would seem marijuana reform has been given its biggest boost since Michael Phelps won 20 gold medals. Quote, from here on, Obama said, we are going to step up our support of the legalization regimes unfolding in Colorado and Washington, and soon, hopefully, in Alaska and Oregon. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's 7:10 and I have important work to catch up on. End quote. With that, Obama left to the sounds of reporters shouting questions. So there you go. That's my satire for the day. Had to make it really broad. I did this one year where I put up an article, I think it was 2007. I put it up on my normal daily audio stash of George Bush signing an executive order to deschedule marijuana.
I remember that one.
And I didn't make it as broadly obvious. I got some pissed off people. All right.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Let me go to some other news stories here. I can't get out of the chat room here. There we go. So here's a story coming out of Arizona. I had told you about the decision from the Arizona, I think it was the Superior Court, Maricopa County Superior Court, that medical marijuana law authorizes patients to use extracts. Now, that was a question in Arizona. It was a really weird situation because in the medical marijuana law, they define marijuana, and it says all the resins, extracts, salts, isomers, blah, 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 right? Which you would think, oh, well, that means extracts. But Bill Montgomery, the county attorney there in Maricopa County, said, aha, there's this other law, the original, criminal law, that defines cannabis. And it defines hash and hash oils as not being cannabis, right? So you have these conflicting laws. All right, well, here's the medical law that says any extract, and then you got the criminal law that says it can't be any extract, right? So it was a fight over this. The judge in Arizona said medical marijuana patients can have extracts, no doubt about it. Well, now the county attorney, this Bill Montgomery guy, now he wants a clarification. He wants to know, does the state's 2.5 ounce limit mean that a patient can have 2.5 ounces of concentrates?
Ooh. Or
can a patient only have how much concentrate 2.5 ounces of usable marijuana could make? By the way, what would that be? Any idea?
It's about a 20% maximum return on BHO, I believe, or maybe 25%. So
2.5 ounces is 2 ounces is 28, and that's 56, and another 14 is 70, and 7 grams. So you'd end up with an eighth. Something like that?
No, 20%. That 7 grams would be 10%.
Oh yeah, so it's a quarter.
It'd be about 14 grams.
So you might end up with a quarter ounce of 14 grams, be a half ounce. So you might end up with a half ounce of 2.5 ounces of product to a half ounce of that would work.
I'm not sure on my ratios. I don't blast, but
so
we'll have to ask Ganja John next Wax Wednesday.
Tomorrow will be Wax Wednesday. We'll ask Ganja John, absolutely. But hey, I think either way it goes down, you either end up with a half ounce of concentrates or 2.5 ounces of concentrates. That's not a bad outcome.
Still good because we get away with minor grams.
Yes,
we get by with grams.
Montgomery says the clarification is needed so law enforcement personnel know whether an amount of extract is within the law's limits. By God, we want to make sure we can still bust someone if it's too much. That's what it really comes down to. We can't let them get away with it. We can't have any gray area. My God, if they have 22.6 ounces, my God, throw them in the cage. All right, we got to take a break, but joining us here for our break, Cool Craig's in the studio. Hi, Craig.
It's 4:20. Hi.
4:20, and you're here on time. Whoops, wrong camera. It's 4:20, you're here on time, man. Let's get it on. We'll be right back.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
Hey Tokers and Tokettes, Radical Russ here to introduce you to my friend Matt and all the staff at Lush LED Lighting. Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED Lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. If you thought LEDs were meet the tech of today, Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Let's just say I appear at a lot of events with the masters of indoor horticulture, and the harvests I saw from Lush LED Lighting were big, tight, sticky, and very effective. Check out lushledlighting.com right now and tell them Radical Russ sent you. Double your rewards and lower your expenses with Lush LED Lighting.
Marijuana, do you wanna? Mary, do you wanna tonight?
As marijuana goes mainstream, you need to be armed with the facts. Nobody can teach you better than Dr. Mitch Earlywine, Ph.D. You may know Dr. Mitch from his column in High Times magazine or his weekly appearance on The Russ Belville Show. Dr. Mitch is also the author of some of the best books on marijuana science, culture, history, and health, including Understanding Marijuana, Parents' Guide to Marijuana, Pot Politics, and more. Visit Amazon.com and search for Mitch Earlywine, that's EARLEYWINE, and order your books today. You can also contact Dr. Mitch by email at 420research@gmail.com.
Cannabis Network Radio, starring David Kowalski from Tampa, Florida. Thursdays at 8 a.m. Pacific on 420radio.org.
Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, or commie, a robe-wearing, bell-ringing Buddhist, a Muslim, or a snake-charming Swami, if you love Sarah Palin and Limbaugh, or voted for Barack Obama, we could all coexist. Maybe not get so pissed, or at least take a break from the drama. Marijuana mellows you out. Marijuana mellows you out. Just take a little puff and you'll be wondering what the fuss was about. Marijuana mellows you out.
Oh, yeah, that's our good friend Chief Greenbud. You can check out all his albums, 3 of them so far, on chiefgreenbud.com. Please support him. He supports us, and that's the way it works here. We all try to help each other out. Welcome back. It's Toker Talk Radio here at Rolla J Studios. We're in our 420 hour, and our good friend Cool Craig has stopped by. Howdy, Craig.
Hi, everybody.
So we're
Peace out there.
We're going to talk about Oregon here because speed limits in the chat room, too, bringing this up, and I figured, what the hell, we could talk about this subject, is first, the Oregon Health Authority was going to ban, we passed this law, this 3460, House Bill 3460, and it's for dispensaries, right?
Yeah.
And part of the law was that we wanted to make sure that we weren't enticing kids into, wanting edibles, right? You hear all these stories out of Colorado, like,
kids got into
medical, edibles, right? All right, so we want to be cool, we want to be responsible, so that became part of the law. But then this Tom Burns guy with the Oregon Health Authority took that to mean, we shouldn't have anything a kid would like. If it's a candy, a gum, a cake, a brownie, anything that would be sweet or attractive to kids. Like that.
Banned.
And so patients went nuts. We're like, what? First of all, you get all on us for smoking. You know, you don't want us smoking, right? But you're going to ban
our candies and such.
One of the things that helps us stop smoking. And the second one was, why does stuff for adults have to taste like crap? What's wrong with there being something sweet and nice for adults, right? All right, so the Oregon Health Authority's backed off on it now. Now they backed off. They issued new regulations that don't say anything about what kind of edible it is, right? You can have candy, cookie, gum, brownie, whatever, cupcake, donut, whatever, but it cannot be brightly colored or shaped like an animal, a toy, or an existing commercial candy or something. Yeah. Right? So you can't make a Butterfinger. Yeah, Butterfinger. You can't make a Keef Cat, right? Cat, yeah, can't make those things. So, But I like the brightly colored part. That's like, okay, so what's the definition of that in the law? How does that work?
Yeah, but I can understand them not wanting to have like Tootsie Roll knockoffs, like we experienced last year at the Owl Farm. Yeah, I was inside Hunter Thompson's place taking pictures. It was just before 420, and then I have someone come to the door and announce, they said, do not eat the Tootsie Rolls. We have 2 down from the Tootsie Rolls. 2 down. And I was like, snap, where are those Tootsie Rolls?
So they're not going to say anything about what kind of edible it is, but you can't have this brightly colored, right? Now, I've read a lot of laws, and, we have these laws that make these statements like that make these limits. There's usually a definition. No. You got to define these things, right? No. What's the definition of brightly colored, right? Is, green, your logo can have green in it, but not too bright a green.
Fluorescent?
So,
I don't know.
It can be this green, but it can't be that green.
Yeah, if it looks like something somebody in an 80s video might wear. What is the standard for this brightly colored crap?
If it's day glow anything, it can't be on the packaging.
Yeah. They'd have been better off to say, the advertising has to be black and white. That's pretty simple. Grayscale, no color at all. But brightly colored. Yeah. Now, what do we have to measure hue and saturation?
Do they still make Nicorette gum? And in the industry, that's in comparison, Nicorette gum.
Oh yeah,
yeah. How's that package?
Pretty plain. It's got a blue package. Nothing brightly colored that I can think of.
And
it's like chewing gum. That's.
But where is it kept? Behind the counter. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It's so regulated.
I'm wondering, we get Rice Krispie treats all the time, right? So you got your standard Rice Krispie treat that's just, beige. Mm-hmm. But then you got your Rice Krispie treat made with those rainbow Rice Krispies. Mm. Are those going to be banned? Oh, too brightly colored. Only beige Rice Krispie treats for you kids.
I call shenanigans, man.
And by kids, I mean people. I wasn't talking about the kids. Yeah. I made an unfortunate faux pas in my presentation. Somebody pointed out to me when we were on smoke break, too. In Eugene. I was pointing out how the kids, 80 to 90% of the kids for past 30 years have said it's fairly easy to get marijuana. 44% of them know a drug dealer. And when they ask that drug dealer what's on the menu, 91% of the time, what's on the menu is marijuana. And in the context of that, he said, and I want to take that business away from those guys and bring it to you. And the guy said, that sounded like you wanted us to be serving teenagers. And I forgot to follow it up with, I wanted to bring it to you because you'll check their IDs and not sell to them. Yeah. But I forgot to add that part. So it did come off a little, it didn't quite work out the way I was expecting.
It's a minor
faux pas in a 45-minute presentation. I can accept it.
They were having you skip a couple slides anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know how this brightly colored thing's going to work. I know they've got the thing on, they got no animal cookies, right? You can't be animal shaped. You can't be, anything like that that's going to be appealing to kids. I guess you couldn't make gummy bears. Oh. You'd have to make gummy discs.
Well, no, see, because gummy anything, would appeal.
As long as it's not brightly colored.
Well, what are we gonna have? Black blobs of gummy crap.
Well, it doesn't have to be black. Just not brightly colored. We can have muted colored disc gummies.
See, even the pastel colors.
Pastel disc gummies.
Even those would be, because there's those little pastel candies, Haven't you ever had those?
It's just a weird ruling, man. It's just a weird setup. Let me see if I can get the exact rule back up on here. I had it in my news feed.
1531.
Yeah. By the way, folks, when you hear the news that we do every day on 420 Radio, I have a site. It's my Daigo, which is like a highlighter, an internet web highlighter thing.
Daigo.
Whatever.
2 eyes in there.
But every story that I reference, there's a hyperlink for it. And this is going back, how many pages? I got 87 pages, 20 links to a page.
You found it near the end of 2012.
Yeah.
So it's like all the last.
So I've covered at least 1,600 news stories. Actually 1,730. 1,730 news stories that I've covered, all with links on them here, right? So here it is. Medical marijuana in Oregon. State backs off the pot-infused sweets. This, of course, great reporting from Noelle Crombie out at the Oregonian.
Love her.
Yeah, she's wonderful. We're still, let's see draft rules. Oh, here's the draft rules. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wanted to find the link to the actual rules, and we'll give these a look over for the... No, that's their
the SB
former story. That's former story. I didn't want to go to the SB. No, I want to go to the actual rules.
Well, that's where they put...
No, that was the original bill, SB 3460. The new draft rules would come out of the dispensary program, Oregon Health Authority.
Let me find a link.
All right, see if you can find them. But, yeah, they said they received about 300 emails from medical marijuana consumers who strongly opposed banning the cookies and such. Cannot offer products that are attractive to minors. No brightly colored food or items shaped like an animal or any other commercially recognizable toy or candy. Products cannot be wrapped in a container that is brightly colored, that depicts cartoons or images other than the logo of the facility, unless the logo of the facility depicts cartoons, in which case only the name of the facility is permitted. It's just amazing how much, and I don't know how to feel about this sometimes. One hand, I get all like First Amendment-y. How dare you say what we can and cannot say? Then on the other hand, I'm like, let's get this passed and get people accepting of it, and then we'll worry about the what it can be advertised. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to see pot advertised to kids. I don't think I do. I don't think most people do. I hope people don't. But this is going to be an issue as marijuana gets more and more legalized. There's all sorts of argument about, like, say, beer commercials, alcohol commercials out there, and how they portray things and kind of appeal to young people. The silver bullet and bikini people. You got the rules there?
Yeah, I sent you the link on Ustream.
Fantastic.
Teamwork, people.
Here we go.
Hoorah.
And we're stoners.
Medible. Okay, child-resistant safety packaging.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we got that. Packaged in a manner not attractive to minors means the tetrahydrocannabinol-infused product is not in a container that is brightly colored, depicts cartoons or images other than the logo of the facility, unless the logo of the facility depicts cartoons, in which case only the name of the facility is permitted. Okay. Registered facility can't transfer packages unless they're in the child-resistant safety packaging and not attractive to minors. So there we go. Oh, and of course the child-proof safety packaging means tamper-proof, child-proof containers designed and constructed to be significantly difficult for children under 5 years of age to open and not difficult for adults to use properly. Opaque, so that the product cannot be seen from outside the packaging. Closable for any product intended for more than a single use or containing multiple servings, and labeled in accordance with 333-008-1220, which is somewhere else.
It's the labeling conditions,
Yeah. So I don't like this opaque thing.
Well, we saw at the Medical Marijuana Business Conference, one of the tables around us had containers that actually had, those barrel keys like they have on vending machines and bike locks and stuff like that. And they had containers that were, all different sizes, but say there was one about this size, and it was a little cup that locked into another cup, and there was a lock on the bottom, and they were both completely opaque. But I wouldn't want to buy a Medible that I couldn't see. I wouldn't want it's like that's half of the appeal for most people. They're getting these Medibles so they can go home, relax, have a dessert, and go to sleep. And get some medical benefit for it. And if it's like you're gonna have it look like crap, then what's the point?
Yeah,
You know,
I don't like opaque packaging. I want to see what it's something I'm going to eat. I don't want to see it the first time I'm getting it home.
I like speed limit. Gummy dog crap. Gummy Legos.
Gummy Legos.
That's good.
The other rule here...
kids eat Legos anyway, speed limit.
Yeah. 333-008-1400 on the moratoriums, because they passed the thing on moratoriums.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Moratorium means an ordinance adopted by a governing body of a city or county by May 1st, 2014, that specifically suspends the operation of a registered medical marijuana facilities within the area subject to the jurisdiction of the city or county for a period of time that does not extend past May 1st, 2015. So, this sounds to me like if they're going to have a moratorium, they got to get it in before May 1st.
Yes, before May 1st, and it can only extend to May 1st of the following year.
May 1st,
which means that they'll have to reconsider this moratorium statute probably at that time.
One nice thing, applicants who have applied to register in these cities or counties, they put in $500 fee and $3,500 fee, right? They can if a moratorium does pop up in their town, they can request to withdraw their application and get their fees refunded.
Oh, all fees.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
that's great. I appreciate that they're willing to do that for all the money they're sucking out of people in there.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more to talk about here on Toker Talk Radio. Also, our phone lines are open. If you've got any subjects or questions, we're here to talk about it. That's what we do. When we come back, we'll talk about driver's license profiling. All the poor citizens of Colorado are getting busted for their Colorado plates.
Messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
I'm a reefer smoking man.
Wood Pipe Smoke Shop and Speakeasy is your source for cannabis community gear in southern Wisconsin. Owners Brian and Tammy Wood are located in Kendall, just outside of Madison, and they've got everything for the smoking enthusiast, including a full assortment of pipes, water pipes, hookahs, bubblers, one-hitters, and so much more. They're open noon to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday and can help you with your detoxification therapies as well. Call 608-466-7473 or email woodpipes@yahoo.com for more information. That's 608-466-7473 or email woodpipes@yahoo.com. And as always, go pack go.
Support the Russ Belville Show. Text the word Russ to 420-420 and connect with the National Cannabis Coalition. You can also send $10 to the Russ Belville Show right from your smartphone. That's Russ to 420-420. You're listening to Radical Russ on the Russ Belville Show.
.420 Radio, fighting prohibition since 2012.
I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer.
I'm a journalist.
I'm a student.
I'm a teacher.
I'm a representative.
I have cancer.
The outdated laws of prohibition are more dangerous than the plant itself.
I lost my scholarship. I was fired.
20 million arrests since 1965. This is getting ridiculous.
Our prisons are overcrowded with non-violent offenders.
We have the opportunity to change.
This is costing our country billions of dollars.
Making my family and I fight in a courtroom is difficult enough when I'm already fighting through chemotherapy. There's no reason to be scared by tradition anymore.
We can stop this.
We can stop this.
We are the American people.
We can stop this.
And you have our support.
We are old,
young,
straight, gay.
We're every race and nationality.
And we're not going to give up.
You can tax it.
You can regulate it.
Apply age restrictions.
You can create millions of new jobs.
We can save our economy. President Obama?
It's time for legalization.
Legalization.
Yes.
We
can.
Welcome back, everybody. Toker Talk Radio, 40 after the hour. Ultra music playing by Catch a Fire. Hope you enjoy that. We got a great Red Eyes Reggae flashback coming up tomorrow. Also, did you get that? You got that interview done?
I'm still working on it, and I've still got a lot of work to do on flashback. If there's even going to be a live one tomorrow, but they're all good.
But tomorrow we will play the Rocker T interview.
Yes, the Rocker T interview, and possibly a track or so from his live performance that we got the audio. He played the after party at the Greenery.
Oh, didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't realize I was recording the audio.
Good for you.
Sneaky.
It was really cool for you to get. I was happy. I was just happy for you to get to see Rocker T.
I'm happy every time I see Rocker T. The energy that man brings to the art he performs is just exceptional. That's all I can say. You know, and people say they've got brother from another mother. But he's my brethren.
All right, where there's a story, and it's based off of a lawsuit that's happening in my home state of Idaho.
Oh, yes, we brought this up yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, Colorado drivers claim license plate profiling after marijuana legalization. Local residents, this is off of RT, Russia Today, RT.com. Legalization of recreational marijuana use may be bringing some tourists into Colorado, but local residents driving out of state are now reporting multiple episodes of what they believe to be license plate profiling by police. According to Yahoo News, there's been a rise in such accusations among Colorado citizens ever since the state voted to legalize marijuana in 2012. Multiple residents driving in other states have reported being stopped by police for no reason other than to have their car searched for pot. One such case reportedly occurred in January when a state trooper in Nevada pulled over Colorado resident David Adkins near Las Vegas. According to local news outlet KRDO, Adkins said the state trooper was actually trailing another target for speeding when he quickly changed targets and began following Adkins.
Oh, hell no.
The incident occurred less than a month after stores in Colorado began selling marijuana, and Adkins believes it's clear he was stopped for potentially carrying the drug, which has only been legalized in 2 U.S. states. Yeah. Adkins said the trooper claimed he was swerving on the road, but that he did not ask for a license or vehicle registration.
Really?
The Fox 31 reports on Darian Rosine is the man suing Idaho State Police. He's 70. And he says, quote, "From the facts and even the video of the dash cam of the police car, the conversation turns quickly from a lane change violation to, 'Where is your marijuana?' the attorney said. No pot found after the searches."
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Fox 31 also quoted Wyoming Highway Patrol Sergeant Stephen Townsend, quote, "Troopers are always alert to criminal activity, so they will still be watching for those who possess marijuana or are transporting it." That doesn't sit well with the attorney who said police cannot draw such conclusions based on an individual's license plate. The KRDO, the station that reported this, said their Facebook page has been sprinkled with similar stories. One commenter said, "Got pulled over in Illinois for having Colorado plates. They searched my truck and trailer." Another, meanwhile, said that not only do the cops pull you over, every pothead around asks us to sell them when they see the plates.
That's like me. I can't go downtown or on certain bus routes without being asked a few times either if I have weed or if I want weed.
How could that be?
I have no
idea. But, all right, so this is another one of these situations where it really sucks, but then I have to look at what will be the blowback from this and how will it benefit us, right? Just like I was talking about the CBD parents that are going to realize, oh, we've been sold a bill of goods. They were just covering their political ass. They didn't really want to get us any marijuana.
Yeah.
These Colorado residents, and especially going to be some rich Colorado residents also getting pulled over for having their plates, right, are going to raise a stink about this. And one thing that'll do is hurt the tourism to those other states, right? If I got Colorado plates, what's the chance I want to drive to Wyoming the next time? Maybe I don't want to go to Wyoming. Maybe I find a way to just ship it, UPS or whatever. Maybe I don't go to Wyoming.
Or maybe I take a train instead.
And this is tough. Colorado is right there in the center of the country, surrounded by states that are pretty anti-pot. Some of the most anti-pot states. So it's a little different situation than Washington, right? You're a Washington driver. You drive into Oregon. You know, we're not going to care that much. But I have heard of Washington drivers getting busted in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
Even Oregon drivers getting busted in Idaho, for that matter. And that's because these cops know that they get all sorts of federal grant money for getting drug busts. That's their bread and butter. They don't get federal money for, you know, stopping wrecks or catching rapists or anything like that. They get the federal money, dollars for collars, every time they can get a drug arrest. And even if that's just a guy who was in Colorado having fun, enjoying legalization, bringing an eighth back with him, hey, that's still a drug arrest. That still counts.
Even bringing the remnants of that eighth back. You know, maybe he found a seed and he was bringing that back. Oh, cultivation charge.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to the phone lines. We got a call from 541 area code. You're on the air with Toker Talk Radio. What's up?
Hey, guys. What's up? It's Ken Justice. How you doing?
Oh, hey, doing great, Justice.
Hey, man, I could not afford that the conference. I was going to come see you guys, but it was like a couple $100 to get into that. The Eugene, that what's it called? The
Medical Marijuana Business Conference.
Yeah, the Medical Marijuana Business Conference. Yeah, they are. You know, they're aiming at these business owners, and so they're kind of expecting them to pay up a little.
Yeah, luckily media gets in. You know, pretty different story. But
maybe I should try to strike that angle next time.
There you go.
Yeah, just say
what about
radio.
with these profiling cases? You know.
Yeah.
If we start asking our federal, our Earl Blumenauers, our even people who are running, what their stance is on it, and really press them, maybe we can change that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's something that Colorado Representative Jared Polis would be really amenable to bringing up in a hearing sometime somewhere. Is, hey, citizens of my state are being unfairly, their civil rights are being abused just because my state happened to choose a different route with marijuana legalization, right? Yeah, that's that blowback I'm hoping for, is that, people start to realize you can't do this state by state because you're going to have these problems from one to the other,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Polis doesn't mess around. Somebody like him would be cool. Like I said, Blumenauer, and there's probably some guys in California that would be pretty loud too, So that's what I'm thinking, and even local level, just asking what their stances are publicly.
Yeah.
And chastising them for the wrong ones.
You know what I say? It's if we're talking about it, we're winning. So anytime you can bring this up, and this is a great opportunity to bring it up because this is where you get to show how prohibition affects people who don't use drugs. Right? This is an innocent Colorado driver, 70-year-old guy driving through Idaho. He has to sit there on the side of the road while the state cops are, digging through his stuff in his truck for what does that take? An hour, 2 hours?
Yeah, I'm from Kansas, man. I as soon as Colorado legalized, I was like, man, those Western Kansas fucking assholes are just licking their chops right now.
Yep.
Waiting next to Colorado. My sister goes to Colorado. She's from Kansas, and I just tell her to never. I go, it's cool, consume in Colorado, but I just never leave holding ever.
There you go. That's right. Don't do it, man.
But anyways, you guys have a good one.
All right, thanks, Justice.
Yeah, when it comes to weed in most states, it's like the opposite of the American Express card. Don't leave home with it.
Don't leave home with it. Yeah, I've actually left Oregon with weed going to a bad state, but I don't come back from a bad state with weed.
We are very careful.
There's plenty of weed here. Don't need to bring it back. Got to be careful, folks.
There may be some exceptions.
Maybe a couple exceptions.
But on the whole.
But this is, Colorado's in a tough situation, like I said, geographically. Just being surrounded, every border they've got leads you to a state that doesn't like marijuana very much. So it's going to be tough, and I think as more people are getting busted in Kansas and Nebraska and Idaho and Wyoming and Utah and all of that. And then the other side of this is going to be Utah passing that CBD bill, and now those parents that are going to be driving across, what's that? Is that I-80? Leads from Salt Lake to Denver, I think it is. Going to be driving down the I-80 with CBD oil, and then those is the Colorado State Patrol going to be watching for them? They're going to be trying to catch them, because once they get back to Utah, they're safe. Tag, we're safe. Right. It's going to be an interesting.
Those smoke birds, it's like, are they targeting the smoke birds? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have that data yet.
And then fast forward a little bit to November 2014 when we get medical marijuana in Florida. All right. Now, imagine all those snowbirds, all those elderly folks.
Oh, yeah.
They get down to Florida, get their medical marijuana card, everything's treating them just fine, and then they got to go back up to New York or New Jersey or wherever it is, New England, what they're going to go back to.
Who says they're going back?
Who says they're going back? There you go. But I think enough will, though, that it'll form some pressure on New York. I was just reading an article today that was basically saying New York medical marijuana in New York is a gimme, but here's why it's not happening, right? Because like the House wants it, or the Assembly wants it, the Senate wants it, the people want it, the governor even says he wants it, but yeah, from that point, there's all this political stuff that's going on that's keeping it from happening.
Wouldn't be prudent.
We will keep you posted on that. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll wind up the show. We'll get you ready. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we got Weed Nerd with Subcool. 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock replays of the past 2 hours. 8 o'clock, we're just going to have another music hour. It is Herb Thrasher's daughter's birthday, so no Thrasher Sports tonight.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
This is Radical Russ encouraging you to take a look at the Weed Blog every day. Johnny Green and the staff at the Weed Blog are on top of all the latest developments in the fight to end marijuana prohibition nationwide. You can even get the Weed Blog on your smartphone by installing the Weed Blog app for iPhone and Android. If it's about weed, it's on the Weed Blog, including my original writing. So don't delay. Read the Weed Blog today.
The Hot Box Podcast, starring Matt Lee and Ian Baker from Kalispell, Montana, Wednesdays at noon Pacific on 420radio.org.
Georgia. Hi, this is Willie Nelson, and I need your help. Alcohol prohibition didn't work in the 20s, and marijuana prohibition isn't working today. It's time we stop arresting law-abiding citizens because they prefer marijuana over alcohol. Nearly 2,000 Americans are arrested every day on marijuana charges. We're unfairly destroying the lives and careers of hundreds of thousands of people each year simply because they smoke marijuana. These are not criminals. They're average citizens like you, good neighbors who work hard, raise families, pay taxes, and contribute to their communities. We need your help to end marijuana prohibition once and for all. It's the fair thing to do.
For more information, contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Call toll-free 888-67-NORML or visit their website at norml.org.
Marijuana, the dried leaves and flowers of the Indian hempweed, is used in the form of a cigarette. Marijuana smoking, experts point out, can make a helpless addict of its victim within weeks, causing physical and moral ruin and death. Should you ever be confronted with the temptation of taking that first puff of a marijuana cigarette, don't do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Our own Lively Libra, who is now Lisa Libra, had a great post on Facebook. She took this picture of herself from like back in the day.
Throwback Thursday picture.
Yeah, Throwback Thursday picture from back in the day. Really young and fresh-faced on one side. And then I put a picture of her today where she's all frowning. She's got this hat kind of over her face and a marijuana joint out of her mouth. This is me after just injecting 3 marijuanas. Yeah. Still say it's harmless.
Yeah.
Great satire.
Yeah.
Loved it, Lisa. Very nice.
Yeah, it would have been better satire if she had tagged it with that, Christians for Michelle Bachmann logo.
That really...
All of that real reefer madness comes through from,
No
It's
kid.
like, what's your mom gonna say? And they've got the picture with the needle in the guy's arm has been photoshopped off, and they've photoshopped a pipe and a bag of weed next to the guy, and everybody remembers that old ad, of the guy laying there, all drugged out against the wall, like overdosed, and the mom, they're gripping his body crying, and there was a needle in his arm originally. It wasn't fucking weed. Which is ridiculous,
Yeah.
So funny.
Hey, one other quick story to let you know about, and this has been going on for a little bit. This is the plant count crackdown in Colorado, right? All right, so you got Colorado's recreational market, which is, you can have an ounce and you can grow 3 mature plants, 3 immature plants. Medically, you can have 2 ounces and grow 3 mature plants and 3 immature plants. But there have been people that have had greater amounts than just the 6 plants, gotten these, exceptions from doctors that'll say, hey, you've got cancer, you're eating edibles, you need, 24 plants or 36 plants, whatever it might be. Anyway, the Colorado Department of Health is now cracking down on these patients and caregivers that are growing more than 6 plants. Officials began sending out letters to medical marijuana patients and their physicians, requiring them to provide documentation to justify cultivating more than the 6 plants permitted by state law. This was announced at a town hall meeting on March 28th. The health department's director, his name's Dr. Larry Wolk, stated that physicians who recommend more than 6 plants must provide medical information demonstrating the reason patients require the additional cannabis. Doctors must also reference studies that have been previously conducted indicating that more cannabis is imperative for a particular affliction. So, yes, they can grow a half dozen plants, but the increased amount is, quote, medically necessary to address the patient's debilitating medical condition, end quote. Out of 3,300 registered caregivers in Colorado, 24 serve more than 5 patients, but 1 caregiver serves 82 patients. Proponents counter that higher plant totals are required to manufacture cannabis concentrates and medicated edibles. The department is going to urge this General Assembly to pass a bill that would limit caregivers to cultivating 6 plants for no more than 5 patients. Right? So you could grow 30 total for 5 patients. Currently, caregivers can get waivers to apply for more. They can serve more than 5. Like we said, 24 of them are serving more than 5. 1 serves 82 patients. Now, when they do these things, you got to understand that probably the motivation here is that, hey, we've got these dispensary markets and we got these recreational markets, and if people are growing a whole bunch of plants, that could lead to some diversion. That's probably where they're coming from here. But the other side of this could be, hey, that caregiver serving 82 patients is serving 82 patients. So you're going to cut him down to 5. All right. Which ones of the 73 now are forced to have to go to the dispensary and buy marijuana? That's they never come up with these considerations. They always assume the worst, that, the guy with 82 patients is probably diverting it out the back door. Could be, or could be serving 82 patients. Right? Let's find out for sure. Let's just not, this is, I don't know. It's troublesome sometimes. But hey, the whole thing is troublesome so long as we keep trying to separate people by who's sick enough to not arrest and who's healthy enough to put in the cage. Hopefully Colorado's legalization expands over time. It gets to the point where it doesn't matter if you're sick or healthy. You can get as much marijuana. You can grow as much marijuana as you want or need. That's the ultimate freedom we're all seeking, I hope. That's all the time we got for today. Like I said, Weed Nerd is coming up next with Sub Cool. For Cool Craig and Brian the Red, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, take care of each other, tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.